Today's video is sponsored by Harry's. What's going on, peeps? Welcome back to the channel. Today we've got a good one. We've got two of my favorite food creators, Joshua Weissman and Sam the Cooking Guy, going head to head in the Filet-o-Fish showdown. The last time these two went up against each other, it was for the Baconator, and I believe Josh won, but only because his recipes are so involved. There's so much that goes into them. You basically create everything from scratch, while Sam usually goes for stuff that is more practical and could be done by anybody. He does have some cool tricks up his sleeve though, so who knows what the outcome will be, but let's get right into this one. Whether or not you are a fan of the Filet-o-Fish from McDonald's, you cannot sit there and tell me that both of these don't look amazing. But before I start up either one, I wanted to give a shout out to my friends over at Harry's. Harry's is a personal care brand that delivers a close, comfortable shave at a fair price, as low as $2 per blade refill. Unlike some other shaving sets I've tried, I love absolutely everything about Harry's, from the ultra-sharp German-engineered blades to the affordable prices and convenience. They ensure such high quality and stand behind their blades so much that there is a 100% happiness guarantee. If you don't love anything about the set, you will get 100% of your money back. And maybe best of all, Harry's supports great causes and give 1% of their global sales to nonprofit organizations that provide mental health care for those in need. And Harry's also offers amazing gift sets starting as low as $15, which would make the perfect Father's Day gift, especially since you have the option to engrave the handle. So do yourself a favor, click the link in the top line of the description and go to harrys.com/David. You will be able to get a $3 trial set or $5 off of any shave set of your choosing. And that trial set consists of a 5-blade razor, a weighted handle, a blade cover, and their shave gel, so for $3, it's kind of a great deal. And thanks so much to Harry's for sponsoring today's video. For Sam the Cooking Guy's Filet-o-Fish, grab some panko breadcrumbs and salt and pepper, Kewpie mayo and flour, some fresh cod, store-bought hamburger buns and American cheese, fresh garlic and bacon bits, a few eggs, a lemon, and some parsley. Now typically I like to start with whichever recipe is going to take the longest just to get it out of the way first, but I'm kind of hungry today and God knows how many hours Joshua's is going to take, so I think Sam's is perfect to begin. His is going to start with a homemade lemon garlic aioli with some fresh garlic, some fresh lemon juice, and parsley. This is going to act as our elevated tartar sauce in the finished sandwich. And then we've got to clean up our fresh cod and then chop it up into our little sandwich-sized pieces. I think Sam even mentions that frozen cod fillets will work just fine for this, and I echo that notion. But this was about $10 or $11 a pound, and it looked pretty good at the grocery store. So I grabbed a piece and then broke it down to be able to get 5 or 6 sandwiches out of it. And then lastly, before we can assemble our breading station, we've got to blend up some real bacon bits, because those are going to be a nice little flavor enhancer for the panko breadcrumbs. This is kind of genius, and I would have never thought to do this. That's why I love watching Sam and all his little tips and tricks. Depending on how much you add, I bet you wouldn't even know that it's in there. It's just gonna act as a nice little umami, salty flavor boost. The rest of the breading station comes together just as you would expect, with some plain all-purpose flour, some beaten eggs with some salt and pepper, and then our fish gets a dunk in each one nice and thoroughly. Make sure to coat every single square inch. I want this thing covered better than a teenage TikTok relationship on a YouTube drama channel. It's a little creepy, guys. They could still be in high school or college and you're like 42, so. Anyways, our fish is gonna get cooked off in 350-degree oil in a cast iron skillet until both sides are nice and crispy, until your internal temperature is about 143 degrees. I know the government suggests 145, but what they don't know won't hurt them. And once you've got your buns cracked open and toasted up on a pan with a little bit of butter, we can assemble this thing. In the same respect as McDonald's, we are going down with a slice of American cheese on the bottom bun, our hopefully perfectly cooked fish on top of that, the lemon parsley garlic aioli to top it all off. Visually, this thing is already a vast improvement from its fast food counterpart, but let's give it a taste. Can we also appreciate how perfect the toast on this bun looks? It looks so good. The smell of this thing, if I held my mouth open, like the drool would just be dumping out of it. Oh my god. I barely ever cook fish on the channel, and I don't know why, but this thing is gonna have me on the lookout for fish recipes. This is unreal. The fish is perfect, it's flaky, it's tender. The sauce is just, it's next level. This is kind of the epitome of what Sam does best. An attainable recipe in less than an hour. He doesn't know what bland is. All his stuff is so flavorful. I'm gonna sit here smiling like an idiot, finishing this for lunch. Please hit the colorful rainbow error screen. Next up, we've got Joshua Weissman's better Filet-o-Fish, and we are going to start by making the buns. So I headed off to the plains of Kansas and started harvesting my own grain to mill the flour. Thankfully, I'm just kidding, but we are going to make the buns from scratch. You will need some bread flour and kosher salt, some sugar and milk, warm water, butter, some active dry yeast, eggs, and neutral oil. That is vegetable, avocado, canola, whatever you got. I think you would all agree that I have made my fair share of breads and yeasted dough products. Some taking like 20 to 30 minutes, others taking many, many days. And this one has got to be up there for the quality that you're able to get in a pretty limited amount of time. You've got to make a quick tangzang paste, which is just flour, water, and milk cooked down a bit. And then throw that in your stand mixer with all your other ingredients. Let it do all the work for you for about 6 or 7 minutes. It's gonna rise once in that same bowl for an hour, and then a second time once you form your little balls for about 30 minutes. It's pretty quick. These things are fully customizable with different flavors you want to use, maybe different flours, different toppings, sesame seeds, some flaky salt. If you already have a stand mixer and you're looking for a fun little activity to enhance basically any burger, sandwich, I really can't recommend these enough. These are just so damn good. They get baked at 375 degrees for about 16 minutes until they are beautifully golden all around. The smell coming off these is just unbelievable. Make sure to shine them up with some melted butter and then let them sit for at least 10 minutes after you take them out because they sort of steam themselves, and that chewy, soft interior texture is just to die for. But now that that 3-minute infomercial for a roll is over, the ingredients you'll need for everything else in this sandwich will be some kosher pickles and granulated garlic, some kosher salt and mayo, all-purpose flour and sliced cheddar cheese, a 12-ounce ale beer and cayenne pepper, Old Bay seasoning, white pepper, an egg, black pepper, some capers and fresh chives, the rest of our fresh cod, a shallot, a lemon, and some fresh dill. When I first formulated the idea for this video, I was pretty excited about it, as I am with almost all my videos, but upon rewatching, it's kind of the perfect comparison because each one has the 4 same exact components. You know, it's some kind of mayo-based sauce, a roll, a cheese, and fried cod. But the details of each one of those components could not be any more different. The sauce is mayo that's loaded up with fresh chives and dill, some finely cut shallot and capers, those kosher pickles, the lemon juice and zest. The texture and flavor of this thing should be off the charts. As you saw, I'm using the rest of my pieces from that same fillet, except this time they're gonna get loaded up with salt and basically dry brined at room temp for at least 10 to 15 minutes. It's kind of a perfect example of when people say Joshua makes stuff with adding every single additional step possible. If there's an extra step to be had, regardless of to what degree improvements it makes the dish, he will do it. That's for sure. Also, instead of the traditional flour, eggs, breadcrumbs, we're gonna be using a wet beer batter for this, which is loaded up with flavors like the white pepper, cayenne, Old Bay, and garlic, which is kind of taking a page out of Sam's book. I was actually surprised to see that he didn't season up his breadcrumbs and flour a little bit more. I guess you don't need it when you have that much bacon introduced in the coating. This is way off topic, but the smell of this one actually reminded me of the smell of Harry Potter World in Universal, if any of you have ever been there. I know it's weird verbalizing that I enjoy the fishy smell of a theme park, but it is just super nostalgic, and it doesn't smell bad, it just smells like a fresh fish being cooked. A slice of cheddar cheese, our beautifully beer-battered fish on top of that, our shallot, chive, dill, lemon sauce. I'm supposed to be on a diet since summer is right around the corner, but by the looks of this one, I might just have to temporarily pause that for now. Wow, is all I have to say. I'm telling you, it smells like Harry Potter World. It smells like when you walk through the bricks of Diagon Alley. You just get a whiff of like the Leaky Cauldron on your left. I have no affiliation with them, by the way. I just love the place. This is unbelievable. I mean, unlike some other foods that are good because of like one ingredient that's kind of carrying the weight for everything, every single component of this is just punching above its weight class, from the sauce, the bun, obviously. I do see the irony in the fact that this took 5 times as long as Sam's, and it looks more like McDonald's with the way the fish kind of flattened out, the coating on it. This was a good piece of fish though. I have a local grocery store that I go to for like all my herbs and meats and stuff. And this was definitely the star of each one. It's super flaky and just rich and like buttery almost. It would be nice if I could have a bite of the last one to compare the two, but I ate the whole thing. I think for the final verdict though, if you put both of these sandwiches in front of me and told me nothing about them, just taste it and then pick one, yeah, I would pick Joshua's. The bun's better, the sauce is better. It just reads as like more expensive. But if I take into account pricing and time and like stress, I would probably pick Sam's. The flavor holds up, it's so quick. But yeah, neither fan base, slew me in the comments please. I think that's a pretty good happy medium. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you did, leave me a big old like. Thank you once again to Harry's for making this one possible. Let me know down in the comments what you want to see me make next week. And other than that, have a fantastic weekend. And I will see you right back here next time. Peace.
With the M without the AD. Flipping burgers and my money super lazy. Try and make a meal tonight, they ain't paying me. Try and supersize my life with my 18. Yeah, our style wasn't wavy, but we had a vision.